Hi, this is Rabbi Orlofsky with our question and answer series. Anonymous writes, as someone who has struggled with weight since childhood, what is the best way to deal with this? In addition, I've noticed the Rav has lost weight and kept it off. What does the Rav advise for successful weight loss? I never believed that I would ever be asked about this. So my weight loss journey has mostly been a story of weight gain. And until fourth grade, until fifth grade, I was very thin, and to the point where my mother was nervous about me, because I come from a family where most people are not thin. Some, but not many. Anyway, but I didn't eat much. And then we went cross country with my family. And my father had an old station wagon, and he kept stopping for gas. And every time he stopped for gas, he'd say, let's get something to eat. And anyway, I came back at that summer, and I was already chubby for the first time in my life. And that just grew from chubby to plump to stout to fat to obese to morbidly obese. At my height, I was about 310 pounds. It was really hard. And those of us who are fat, you know that life is much more difficult for you. Besides the fact that you're constantly facing judgment of everyone around you who say, well, you don't have any willpower, etc. I remember in the 1980s, they did a study and they found that people who are overweight, when they start to lose weight, their body literally releases an enzyme that tells you you're starving. So someone who can lose the weight and keep it off, their mamish have such gvura, such power that they're able to keep off that weight. It is not easy. And so my life has been a process of losing weight and gaining it back on with interest, because since your body thinks it just went through a period of starvation, it always adds on a few more pounds to protect you against the next famine. And I think if I had never dieted, I would never have been as fat as I was. It's ironic. So what ended up happening, I'll never forget, my good friend Dr. Bright was visiting from America. I don't know how many years ago this was. And he says, oh, you lost some weight. And I said, yeah, I don't know. I'm not dieting. I'm not doing anything. And I just see that I'm losing weight. And he got very serious and said, you better check yourself for diabetes. And sure enough, I had diabetes. That's what was causing me to lose weight, ironically. So I lost a certain period of weight there. And then I started to actually try to diet, and I lost some more weight. And I was hovering more or less somewhere between 210 and 220, probably, I had gotten down to. And, well, I didn't get down to there right away. I was more like around 230, 240. But after my heart attack, I lost weight because it was hard to eat, you know. So I lost some more weight. And but I was hovering somewhere between 210 and 220. And that's when I had my next. They put in stents. And then one of the stents became blocked. And they had to do another procedure. And they managed to clean out one of the vents. And they managed to clean out one of the stents. I went for the post-op, and he says, listen, we're out of options. They're not going to open you up again to do a bypass. There's nothing else for me to fix in there. And so if you want to live, you're going to have to do some lifestyle changes. So I said, okay, I'm in my 60s. I've lived my life. I've eaten most of what I want to eat. I'm going to go on to the diet that I was on for a summer called the Furman diet, where you only eat fruits and vegetables, legumes, nuts and seeds. That's it. There's no oil, there's no salt, there's no dairy, there's no meat, there's no chicken, just fruits and vegetables for the most part, nuts and berries, and then seeds. And I began to lose weight in a not normal way. Now, I was on this diet for 2 months in the summer. I didn't lose that much weight, frankly. But as soon as I went on this diet, I started losing a lot of weight. And I think the only explanation I could give is there's a book by this fellow John Gilbert who says that your body decides whether or not to lose the weight or not. So if you don't really care that much, your body doesn't care either. But I think my body was listening closely as the doctor was talking and realized it was in its own best interest for me to lose weight. So my body basically said, look, you work with me and I'll work with you. And I went on the diet and I lost weight like in a not normal way. And it was amazing. Now, full disclosure, I went off my diet and at some point, and I put back on some of the weight, not as much as I lost, and I keep starting again. It's a hard diet. It's a hard diet. I remember when I first went on it that summer, I looked it up, and it seems scientifically that it is good not only to lose weight, but it also reverses arteriosclerosis, they say. It actually cleans out your arteries. But there was one comment that stuck with me, which said, you will live longer, but you won't want to. So I basically said, okay, I know this is very hard, but I'm going to do it because I need to, because I don't want to die. And I really have to chazer over that and get myself and my body back working together to be able to get back and lose off that weight, because I was close to my ideal weight. Not there, but I was very close, to the point that it was mugzam. People looked at me and for the first time since I was in 4th grade, I didn't look fat, which was amazing. I doubt I do look fat now, but, so people say to me, no, you don't look fat. I said, I don't look morbidly obese anymore, but I'm still fat. I know the difference. Anyway, so that's what I recommend you, to find something that's going to work with you, and you have to tell yourself that this is life or death. That's it for this question and answer, and I hope that you'll be matzliach, and everybody should have good health.